A long time ago, high in the mountains where fast rivers run, a tree lit the spark of inspiration. The people of the mountains saw that they could train the tree's roots across the water and forge them into a bridge. That power to recognize possibilities, to really see, lives inside of us. Like a root bridge, it can connect us to the world, to the wisdom of our past, to those who come after us.
El agua es fundamental acá en la agricultura. Cada gota de agua nos cuesta demasiado para hacerlos llegar hasta acá. Hoy, lamentablemente, no tenemos la misma cantidad, el mismo volumen de agua que hace 50 años teníamos. Bueno, las terrazas y los andenes, como ustedes lo hacen, que tengamos una eficaz rol de riego, ¿no? Reducir quizás una erosión de suelo que tengamos en terrenos ya bastante erosionados. Podamos hacer muchos andenes que ustedes pueden ver para que enfrentar el cambio climático.
Grassroots innovation are built by the people, for the people, as they build resilience towards the local challenges they face every day.
It's really imperialistic to think that solutions come from that industrial technical world now.
There are probably millions of pieces of knowledge which are incredibly powerful for solving global problems that we'd have no idea because we're not even looking for them.
Right here, those are the little monkey bars. These are like the little things to, like go up it. And I'm like kind of tall for it, but like usually we're on top of this. I'm gonna break the house.
Yeah, so my name is Gitanjali Rao. I'm 15 years old and I'm an innovator, author, and promoter of science, technology, engineering, and math, especially for students and youth.
This is my science kit. This is something my uncle gave me when I was 4 years old. It is very busted, to say the least. So I was inspired by the water crisis in Flint, Michigan about 3 years ago. And it was absolutely appalling to see how many kids my age were basically drinking like a poison every single day, right? So I created something like Tethys, which is like an easy to use at-home tool for lead in drinking water. This is a breadboard that everything gets hooked up into, and this is a lithium-ion battery. And it comes with this cartridge that gets dipped into the water and then tests if you have clean drinking water.
We've created a stereotype for what innovation is across the past 50 years.
you look for, particular person, right? A mad scientist who is typically white, who's typically old, and who's typically a male. I am not that. I am not at all what you see on the media. Innovation to me is the process of thinking differently to solve a problem in the world around you. Our generation is growing up in a place where we're seeing problems that have never existed before. And right now, innovation needs all of us, right? No matter our age, our gender, or our race. We have to maximize innovation and creativity together.
The seed of potential lives within each of us. Every day, people face challenges with ingenuity and vision. How they work, where they find inspiration, can help us all find new ways to build a better tomorrow.
Mình nghiên cứu cái dự án này là rất là lâu, từ 2012 mà cho tới năm 2017 thì mình cũng giữ lại một số cái mẫu từ 2017, 2019, 2018. Thì khi tôi về đây làm, xe nó bị hỏng chở. Ơi, sao mà rác thối như thế này? Cái chuyện mà hư xe, rồi cái chuyện đó là tất nhiên nó phải xảy ra thôi, không sớm thì muộn nó cũng phải có. Cho nên ước chi mà cái rác đi mà nó thành tiền thì họ mai cái môi trường này nó mới sạch được. Có chuyên ngành về sinh học mình cũng và mình cũng không có đòi hỏi là mình không được đào tạo, không có chuyên môn. Tôi tên là Trinh Thi Hong. Tôi đang là giám đốc doanh nghiệp mà tái chế phế phẩm hữu cơ thành chất tẩy rửa.
This is the imagination book. This is where all ideas are born. This is where all ideas are nature. And then this is where I write whatever thing I think or imagine. This is actually the gallery generator. And then you can see this is a different model. And these are the materials, the solar switch, transformer, battery. I have so much concern about the environment. I want to see how best I will minimize air pollution. My dad is a welder. Dad is so talented, I will help him do a lot of things. I also learned how to do these things. I do it for myself. I call this imagination light because it's everything I imagine. I decided to create this light to help people do not have access to electricity. This is a sketch of the car I want to build. It has a solar panel that acts as a source of energy. After I've created the first prototype, then I want to expand. As a youth, and then I have to play a major role. I have to help people. I have to help society. I have to help my country.
I am Jamila Mammadli. It is Jamila Mammadli in my own language. I currently live in Baku. I am 27 years old for now. And I'm currently working as copywriter at my company. It's a television company. Baku is something new and something old. Many people can enjoy it here if you are a tourist. But for me, it's kind of challenging place to be. I moved here 3 years ago. I lived in some really small village, really green place to be. It's really nice, but there wasn't many opportunities for me, so I had to move to Baku. I just came to big city and I thought it should be so much easier. It wasn't, for my surprise. I enjoyed discover new places. Okay, maybe not all the places accessible for me. Of course, I'm a wheelchair user, so I can't move around freely. I can't enjoy myself without thinking, can I go there without any help or maybe obstacles? But I know that it's like this for the most of the world. We are not accessible world, unfortunately. When I first got to use metro, I was new in the city and was really scared. Before me, it was illegal to use the metro with wheelchair. Yeah, it was the real thing. So it was really challenging for me, not only physically, but even mentally. I had to fight.
Many times the people who are economically poor are not intellectually poor. Wealth has no relationship with wisdom. You can have a lot of wealth and you may be foolish. And a person who is economically very poor may be very wise. I'm Anil Gupta, professor, taught at Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad for about 40 years. And I also founded Honeybee Network around 34 years ago. It is a database for democratizing the grassroots innovations, innovations from and innovations for grassroots. So it's a voluntary effort. We have been doing this walk for decades, adding wings to the imagination by not just looking at what people lack, but what people are good at. We tried to learn from 4 teachers in every learning walk. A teacher within, a teacher around us, a teacher in nature, and a teacher among common people. Honoring creative people at their doorstep makes a big difference. I mean, there were occasions when people in the village didn't know about them enough. Sometimes they didn't know at all. Well, we never knew that he was doing this experiment. And of course, this process of visibility gives currency to these creative ideas. Otherwise, they get lost. We often have a challenge as to how can formal system, policymakers, financial system, how can they take note, how can they hear them? So I'm convinced that if we want inclusive development, we should encourage diversity, And we should also encourage difference of opinion, difference of views, difference in the ways we solve problems. Mind on the margin are not marginal minds.
People have always been dreaming up ways to make life better for those around them, but too often their work gets lost in a noisy world. Now, however, others are starting to listen.
I've always believed in the mission of the United Nations. You know, those first 3 words, we the people, really mean something when you look at the state of the world as it is right now. So the United Nations Development Program was set up in 1965. It's a $5 billion a year organization with 17,000 people working on it, spanning across 170 countries. What we saw happening was that the pace of change was accelerating. In climate problems, in poverty issues, even in technological developments, the pace of change on the outside world was actually faster than what we were able to keep up with on the inside of our own organization. So the kind of traditional approach to development, basically, is with a perspective that you need economists to look at data, to understand the problem, to analyze the problem, to make a plan, and then have the plan delivered, and then people are better off and the world is a safer and better place. They're saying, this is what we're here to do for you. But the kinds of problems that you have in the world today, you've got increasing droughts, increasing flooding, loss of crop yields, the growth of violent extremism. These are the kinds of problems that change by the minute, and they depend on the actions of 8 billion people around the world. They're not the kind of problems that you can sit behind a desk in an office like this one and design a plan to solve. We started looking at various research, and one of the things we looked at was a piece of research where they were looking at the problem of recurrent flooding in Indonesia. They found a fellow named Mate Kusama who was almost obsessively taking care of black soldier flies. As it turns out, they eat the waste that occurs in irrigation canals, and where the black soldier flies were protected, the farms were safer from floods. You could put agricultural experts, you could put, equity experts of all kinds in a room, give them coffee for 3 days, and they would never come out with protect and love the black soldier flies. We were inspired by the idea that that kind of a solution was so different and so off our radar that we must be missing something. It's the people closest to the problem who have the most knowledge about that problem.